Good morning, students. Today, in operating system, we will discuss parallel, distributed, and real-time system. What is parallel system, distributed system, and real-time system? First of all, we will see what is parallel system. Systems with more than one CPU in close communication is called parallel system, also known as multiprocessor systems. Here are new terms come, that is tightly coupled system. Processors share memory and a clock. Communication usually takes place through the shared memory. Actually, in tightly coupled system, what happens? The in tightly coupled system, hardware and software actually they are dependent on each other. They are not separately work. As in the loosely coupled system, hardware and software are work independently. They are not dependent on each other. But in tightly coupled system, hardware and software are actually dependent on each other. So, mean to say every component, whether it is a memory, hardware, software, they all are dependent on each other. So, processors share memory and a clock. Communication usually takes place through the shared memory. Now, what are the advantages of parallel systems? Since in the parallel system more than one CPU is there, so the throughput is increased. Throughput means the number of processes are completed or executed in a given, or you can say in a unit time. So that is the throughput. So here in the case of the OS, the throughput means the number of processes executed within a time frame. Economical, it is also economical. Third, increased reliability. In some cases, it is reliability also increase, where there are some cases where we need, the reliability should be more. So in that cases, the parallel systems are very reliable. They can execute the work within that stipulated time frame. It is also field soft system. So these are some of the advantages of the parallel system. Now, in parallel systems also we will discuss asymmetric multiprocessing. What is asymmetric multiprocessing? Each processor is assigned a specific task. Master processor schedules and allocates works to slave processors. Let's say in a system there are three processors are there. So one processor will be a master processor and other two processors will work as the slave processor. So the master processor schedules and allocate work to the slave processor. The master processor also schedule that you will have to do this work in this much of amount of time, and so on. And it is also allocate memory. The master processor will also allocate memory to the slave processor. So this is called asymmetric multiprocessing, more common in extremely large systems. Actually, asymmetric multiprocessing is mainly useful or used in extremely large system. It is used in a system where the system is very large. Second point is symmetric multiprocessing. In symmetric multiprocessing, each processor runs an identical copy of the operating system. Suppose in symmetric multiprocessing, suppose three processors are there, so each processor runs an identical copy of the operating system. Many processes can run at once without performance deterioration. Most modern operating systems support symmetric multiprocessing. Most of the modern operating system, but they are supporting symmetric multiprocessing. So you can see this symmetric multiprocessing, common memory shared between different processors. Like here is the example of many CPU, as you see in the figure. Many CPU are existing in there, CPU 1, 2, 3, and so on, and they all are sharing a common memory. So this is, just simple example of the symmetric multiprocessing architecture. Now we, from parallel system, we will move to the another system that is called the distributed system. In distributed system is the computation among several physical processors. It is a loosely coupled system. As we have discussed in the parallel system, they are the tightly coupled system. As I have already mentioned, that in a loosely coupled system, hardware and software, they all are, in a independent fashion. So each processor has its own local memory, processor, communicate with one another through various communication lines such as high speed buses or telephones lines. In a distributed system, the system may be at the far locations, but they all are communicated through various communication lines, high speed buses or telephone lines. So distributed system is a loosely coupled system. Parallel system is a, the tightly coupled system. So what are the advantages of the distributed system? The advantages of the distributed system are, first of all, resource sharing. Even the systems are, located at the different places, but they can share the resources. Computation speed up. Since the tasks have been divided, so the computation is speed up. Load sharing, if the same load is not on the one processor, that it can be divided or sharing between the different ones which are located on the different locations. Reliability, of course, the reliability is also increased, and of course the communication is also increased. So these all are the advantages of the distributed system: resource sharing, computation speed up, load sharing, reliability, communication, etc. These all are the advantages. Now one, it is also require networking infrastructure. It local area networks, LAN, or wide area network, maybe either client server or peer-to-peer system. Clients is in the client server system, a client is there and a server is there. Client is sending the request to the server, and the server respond to the request of the client. And there are also the peer-to-peer systems, so they all are, there is no server and the client. In a peer-to-peer system, they are, communicating. All the two systems works as a peer, and they are communicating to each other. So this is the general structure of client server. A server is there, and there are many clients may be there. All the clients are interacting with the help of the buses or the network, any network medium, to the server. Server is, responding. A server is taking the request of the client 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, and it is the server is responding to the client. Now the next terminology, that is the clustered system. What is the clustered system? Clustering allows two or more systems to share storage. It provides high reliability. The clustered system is also of two types. One is called asymmetric clustering. One server runs the application or applications while other servers stand by. This is asymmetric clustering. Symmetric clustering, all n hosts are running the application or applications. Suppose n hosts are there, in all the n hosts the same applications are running, but in the asymmetric clustering, one server runs the application or applications while other server stand by. Okay, so this is asymmetric, and in symmetric all n hosts are running the applications. Okay. Now we'll come to the real-time systems. In the real-time system, often used as a control device in a dedicated application such as controlling scientific experiments, medical imaging systems, industrial control systems, and some display systems. So this is the real-time system where actually in the real applications we are using, where the the tasks are very critical. So where we are using the real-time system. Well-defined fixed time constraint. In the real-time system, the time constraint is there that this your the system will have to work this particular amount of work in the within the same time limit or the time constraint. Real-time system may be either hard or soft real-time system. Real time system can be further categorized into two types. One is called the hard real-time system and another is called the soft real-time system. So in the hard real-time system, secondary storage limited or absent. Mean to say secondary storage or hard disk, that is the limited or absent. Data is stored in short-term memory, that is either short-term memory or read-only memory ROM. So data is stored in there only, because in this real or hard real-time system data is very less required. So conflicts with time sharing systems not supported by general purpose operating system. Hard real time operating system or systems is not supported by general purpose operating system. Now we will see what are the example of the hard real time operating system. So the component of pacemaker, anti-lock breakers, aircraft control system, these all are the example of the hard real time system. Now soft real-time system. In the soft real-time system, limited utility in industrial control of robotics, integratable with the time sharing system. It is useful in multimedia, virtual reality. You can see that the example of the soft real-time system, in the personal computer, audio and video system, which you can share or you can operate. So useful in these multimedia, virtual reality. It is requiring tight response times. So this is soft real-time operating system. Now here I will stop, and in the next topic we will discuss memory management. Okay, so we will discuss memory management in the next lecture. Thank you all.